Hi everybody, welcome to a new episode of PhDyer. We have a brand new patron, so if you haven't already seen, welcome Alyssa. Thank you so much for your support. It really truly does mean so much to have all of you support Woolen Women Fibers and PhDyer. It really helps go a long way to growing my business. Making these videos helps. I love to share my content and my making, and I love to see what you're making and what you're doing as well. So thanks for helping make my dreams come true and continuing to support that, because after my first dream kind of ended, this was my second dream and I really love it. So thank you. So you'll notice there'll be a wheel like spinning here. I have my Swift set up and I'm going to do this while I spin up some of my hanks. So I apologize if you see something spinning or if this is a little bun jumbled, but just to catch up a little bit, last week I had told you that we were house hunting. We did continue that, and this past week we found what I absolutely thought was my dream home. So I was really excited about it. It was the first home I walked into that I really could feel like that's where I was supposed to be. Unfortunately, it is 20 minutes away from here, which is a little upsetting. But we tried to find a home like literally right within this court because my parents live in condos. And the people that live there want so much more money than the place is worth, and they're kind of sitting on it for a long time. It's not that I wouldn't wait, but the place is like, it needs a lot of renovation. So it's not like a fixer-upper, it's just cosmetic things for the most part. But like the whole kitchen has to be torn out. Like between the stove, there's like huge gaps where they didn't cut the countertop to meet the stove. There's like 1970s cabinets on the one side, and then they redid some of the cabinets, but not quite like right. They kind of just chopped up the cabinets and put them in really shoddily. And so for $286,000, I did not think that I wanted to walk into a home. I had to put in $50,000 more to fix it up. So when I walked into this house in EHT, which is at Garber Township, if you guys don't live near here, some New Jersey people might know that. It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It has a huge backyard. It's fenced in for my dog. And the home is all redone. Everything's brand new, down to the shingles in the roof, the electrical, and it's just stunning. So, and it's cheaper. So, really amazing. It's a 4-bedroom. So we put a bid on it and the guy took it. And now we're just in the stages of waiting to see if the financing is going to come through. The mortgage lender said everything should be okay, so I'm really excited. Me and John are both excited. It's funny, he let me pick out the house because he like was at work, and we had already decided on another house that I was like okay about. I mean, I wasn't crazy about it, but I thought it was nice. And so we were thinking about putting in a bid on that. We both got to look at that one, but then he was at work and I was like, you know what, we need to kind of go look just in case. And then I went to look by myself with my dad, and it was stunning. So John was like, do what you need to do, you know, put a bid in if you think it's your dream home. So he got to look at it like 2 days later, and he felt the same way. So we got the ball rolling and everything is kind of in motion now. With the 4 bedrooms, that gives me a master bedroom, hopefully a nursery if I ever get pregnant, and a dye studio, which I'm going to set up, which is going to be so much fun. And then the 4th will probably be like a craft room or an office / guest room. So I'm really excited because I'll get to show you guys like the setup for the dye studio if everything comes through okay. So yeah, that was awesome this week. Really excited. What else happened? Oh, my not so exciting news is my dog is sick. We started to notice that he was having issues like hyperventilating, which is normally not a big deal. Like if your dog hyperventilates and then it stops, it's fine. But this was like every few minutes to every hour, without reprieve. Like he would just be constantly hyperventilating and coughing. So John ended up taking him to the vet, and his tonsils are actually inflamed, so much so that they're swollen and kind of cutting off his breathing. I tried to look back there, but without a scope, I really couldn't see anything. But I figured something was up. So they gave him an antibiotic and some kind of like cough suppressant. But yeah, it wasn't good. So we're hoping the medicine kicks in a day or two, because he's already had like 1 day of meds and he already seems a little better. But he's still kind of coughing, and then this morning he was sick to his stomach, so I had to jump out of bed and kind of quick get him outside, probably from the antibiotic. So he's not had a good week, to say the least. He's eating again, because he wasn't eating that last day when we took him to the vet. He refused to eat, so I knew something was going on with his throat. So I'm just glad it's not something more serious, because I was afraid. But yeah, he hasn't had the best week, and he'll be better after the antibiotic. Of course, right when we're about to go away, because that's how it happens, right? I told you last week that we had been trying to get pregnant these last 2 or 3 months. I had gone to the doctor because I had been 10 days late, and I was super excited. Try not to get my hopes up too much, but I was excited, thinking maybe I was, and then literally hours after I left the appointment, I found out I wasn't. So it's a bummer, but I am going on that trip for a weekend to Pennsylvania for a bed and breakfast, and it'll be nice to have a glass of wine like in the hot tub. So originally I was gonna have to, follow all the rules, stay away from seafood, raw seafood anyway, and like not have wine, can't take a hot bath. So I guess I can't be like super disappointed. It's only been 2 months trying, so this will be my third. It's not that unusual for people to take up to about 6 months to a year, so I'll wait. And now we'll have to move and all, so it will be better if I don't probably do both at the same time. But we're gonna keep trying and see what happens, and if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't. So that was disappointing, but maybe it's just not time yet. Baltic Yarn's order is coming along. I gotta tell you guys, I had like a lot of trouble dyeing up the order, and I don't know why. Maybe it's nerves or something, but I normally get my personal orders out like on the first try. Like if I have to dye up a batch of something, it's really rare if I have to over dye it, or if I have a mistake and I need to like do it all over again. And I just feel like every time I picked up the yarn for Baltic and did a new colorway, like I was off my game. Like I couldn't seem to just dye them up without any issues. So he's not getting Concrete Jungle or Outlaw because there were issues with that, and obtaining dye. Like there's just some issues with supply right now. But he told me I could bring in some replacements for them, and I felt so bad even cutting that off of the order. But I'm gonna bring him a one-of-a-kind colorway that I made for his shop. I think we're gonna call it Equinox. It's like a blue with black and blue speckles for like the night sky, because the equinox just happened, and I just wanted to do a colorway that kind of represented that. And I'm having some trouble with this lately. Like, it just doesn't want to spin things correctly. I just don't know why it's such a problem. It's like all loose and ridiculous. So he's gonna get that, and then I'm trying to recreate the popular Gothic Rose colorway that everybody loved. So I put up that one-of-a-kind skein, and people kind of were asking about it and jumping all over trying to get it, even though it was a one-of-a-kind. But I think I know generally what colors I dumped on there. Not in what quantity, but I can recreate it enough to write it down and make a colorway really similar to it. So I'm probably going to make him Gothic Rose as well. And he'll get those too. And they will not be one of a kind. I think I may actually put Gothic Rose in the shop. Or maybe just a batch of it or something. Because it seemed like a really popular, like people really liked it. And I think it's a nice like winter colorway. If you haven't seen it, it's like browns and reds, like deep reds. So I have a ton of personal orders and a ton of Baltic yarn stuff to still, well, actually Baltic yarns is almost done. I only have a couple of those, maybe 3 batches. But personal orders I'm drowning in, which is awesome. And I think I have Nancy Drew's to dye today. So pre-orders closed last night. We did really well for our first mystery yarn club. And it'll run for 2 more months. In addition, we're opening up another yarn club, and I haven't come up with a name yet for it. I think it's going to be like Women of the Ages or something. So like at Woolen Women Fibers, we're all about like uplifting women and giving women a chance. I mean, I feel grateful that I had chances in science and that somebody gave me the opportunities I had, and I think that's really important. And so like we did Nancy Drew, she's an important like iconic woman, so we're trying to pick like themes that are sort of like that. So I think our next one is going to be a little more like the same kind of theme. It's a little vintage, and it's going to be like Women of the Ages. I don't know if that's what we're going to call it or not, but the first month I can tell you will be, which is the first month? November will be the first month this one releases, so it will be, I think it's going to be Little House on the Prairie. Yeah, Little House on the Prairie, and it's going to feature the main character of Little House on the Prairie. So November, it'll probably be like Thanksgiving type. We'll pick like an episode that was like Thanksgiving. It'll be like probably earthy sort of tones. I think that's really fitting for fall and for November. And then we will pick another one for December and January. Those 2 are really awesome. December is my favorite. I don't know if I'm going to give a sneak peek of that, but I probably will, like I did with Nancy Drew. Like, you guys will get to see the 3 that will be picked. You just won't, you won't know what the yarn looks like until you decide if you want to order or not. But yeah, I'll probably give you a sneak peek into that. So keep an eye out for that. What else? I've been making dinner more recently because John's back at work. Sometimes he does make dinners like the night before if he knows I have a lot of work to do. And that way we can just heat up dinner, which was really nice. So yeah. My plants are doing really well. They're actually in the other room under a UV light. We actually shut that door and I turned the UV light on for like, it has settings for like 3, 6, and 12 hours. Excuse me. So, each day I kind of give them a little bit of light under that. But I'm growing them on my windowsill now. I'm kind of contemplating on whether or not to just harvest them and do it again next year, because I just have a lot on my plate and plants are not my top priority at the moment. But they are really nice to cook with, and I mean, I hate to kind of just kill them. It would be nice to put them in the new house if it comes through. So maybe I'll just keep them until then, and then I can put them in the windowsill over there. I don't know. I don't think the green beans are doing very well. They have like shrivelly leaves and they're just kind of like drooping a little. They look like the buds on them were okay, but like everything else is kind of not great on them. They're not like dead, but they almost look like they're extremely slowly dying. So yeah. Tonight is another knit night. I'll probably wait till late tonight and edit this so that I can include that in here, but it's from 7:30 to 8:30 if you have time. I hope that you'll be on there, so maybe I'll see some of you later. We'll see. I may put out a post to ask your feedback on them. If you think, like for those that aren't joining the knit nights, do you think eventually you will join the knit night? And do you like the knit nights if you did come on? Are they something you enjoy? Are they something you think you want to keep doing? So we'll see. But yeah, oh, last thing is Darn Good Yarn sent out their yarn. And they said it's 2,000 of the fingering weight. I think it's 150 of the chunky, unless they got in the rest. She had said they wanted me to dye up 150 originally, and then when the rest came, they'd send it in. So I actually don't know how much chunky is showing up at the house, and I have no idea where I'm going to put 2,150 skeins. We'll see. I will be drowning in yarn. I'm currently drowning in yarn at the moment. It's lovely because they're colorful, but I have no idea where I'm going to put the Darn Good yarn. So the deal is I have 2.5 weeks to complete 450 skeins of each colorway. That makes about 25 a day that I would have to do. So yeah. I'm hoping they don't arrive until I get back, but chances are they'll probably arrive right before I leave. I'm hoping that they wait a little bit, because I'll miss like those 2 days, you know. But honestly, like, I think I'm gonna wait until their payment comes through. So they're supposed to pay me half, and then half when I send the yarn back, and when they get their whole order, and their payment won't come through until next week anyway. So I figured next week is when I'll start. Because honestly, after the Baltic yarns and everything I've done these past 2 weeks, I kind of need 5 seconds to recoup and then start again. But yeah. I don't think it's going to be too bad. They're like 50 gram skeins, so I can fit like 5 into each kettle, I think. So it'll be like 5 batches per day that I have to finish. I just hope like my nerves don't get the best of me, because whatever happened with the Baltic order worries me. And they're perfect now. Like everything I'm sending out is perfect. I'm just concerned because it took me so long to get them perfect. when I should have kind of been able to bang them out. But I think my nerves, because it's my first like yarn store, my first wholesale order. So yeah, I'm going to finish scanning. There will be a video of all the Baltic yarns. Your behind the scenes video for this month is actually going to be sent out on the first week of October, because I'm actually going to give you a behind the scenes of the bed and breakfast that we're going to stay at, and all the things that we're going to do there. Or maybe like a behind the scenes of the room and some of my making while I'm there, because that'll be the first time I've had to like knit. The first time in a long time. I haven't knit in, you know, because my wrist, which is not doing well under the circumstances. And then I just basically didn't have time because of this. So I apologize. This week, the only making you will see is the making of Woolen Women Fibers, because yarn is all I've made all day long, every day. So yeah, I thought that would be a good behind the scenes video. I'm thinking I don't know if I'll include some things about the houses we looked at, so maybe you can kind of come along for that. I took some videos of the insides of the house. Yeah, maybe I'll include that. So like this behind the scenes for this month will be all about like my trip and the bed and breakfast, so you can kind of see where we went. Of course the vlog will have like activities that we do and maybe some other things, but at least you'll get behind the scenes of the room, my balcony, and some other pretty things. Maybe while I knit we can do some behind the scenes with that. Maybe John will bring his knitting, we'll see. And I'll also include the house hunting. So it'd be like a little family type, non-making related behind the scenes. It'll be more of like a day in life behind the scenes of what I'm up to aside from my making, so that you guys don't get pulverized with my yarn, since that is my making at the moment. But I think it'll be fun. You get to see a little bit of Lancaster and things like that. So yeah, I guess I hope to see you guys on the knit night tonight, and I am gonna get some dyeing done. The knit night will be my break, and then I will continue dyeing. So, and hopefully this Swift cooperates, because at the moment it is not cooperating very well. Okay, just like, I have like, I think 3 more of these, and then I'm done, and then I'm making all your Patreon minis. They're gonna go out with everything else, so bear with me. Your Patreon minis will be there soon. Okay, happy making, everybody. Hope to see you later.